Hello, hello, happy Friday. It's Tanya here. I am so excited to share with you another episode of Foodie Friday. And just a little bit of background on my behalf. I am an online business owner. I have been for the last over 5 years. I live here in Lethbridge, Alberta, Canada, and I share this business page with my husband as well, so we both do the business. And I want to thank you, first of all, for stopping by, and I hope that this is maybe a recipe that you're going to want to try yourself as well. And again, I do these every Friday. It's called Foodie Friday, and it's all about baking. We're not going to talk about business today, but I just would love for you to be able to join me in my kitchen, so hopefully this is something that you want to try out for yourself as well. So without further ado, what we are going to do today is, and I will try and let you see that, it's called Spooky Brownies. So in the end, it will look like this. So what I normally do, if you're not familiar, is I will have all the ingredients pre-measured. And then that way I'm saving us a bit of time. And so I can just, dump and stir and, chat with you and get to know you a little bit better. And on that note, I would love to know where you're tuning in from. Are you from, across the globe? Are you here locally? I'm in Alberta. And I always love to know how global we are because we are a global business. And perhaps it's nighttime for you. I know it's morning for us. It's about 10:30, and I'd love to share with you what we're doing here. So if you want to just share that with me, I would love to be able to connect with you and give you a shout out after as well. Okay, so the first things first, normally with a recipe, if there's wet ingredients and dry ingredients, typically you want to mix all the dry ingredients first and then the wet ingredients and then add each to it. In this instance, it's a 1 bowl recipe, which I love, so that, it saves on dishes and saves on time. But so with this, I'm going to start with the brownies. And so the first ingredient is our flour. So I've actually pre-measured everything. So we've got 1.5 cups of flour. Okay, and then I'm just going to keep going. We've got 1 teaspoon of salt. So I've actually pre-measured that as well, just to make things easier. And, and this is a trick too. If you are, preparing a recipe, get out all the ingredients first so that you can do everything in flow. Because I find that, running back and forth to the pantry or to your cupboard is going to, waste some of your time, and then you have to reread the steps again. So this is definitely a good way of practicing doing your baking. And I've got 2 cups of flour, 2 cups of sugar. I know it's a lot, but we're talking brownies here, and I think that's because it's going to offset the flavor of the oil as well. So there is going to be some oil in there, and of course to offset the cocoa. So I've got 1/2 cup of cocoa here. So what I'm going to do is I'm first going to, I've got my handy spoon here. I'm just going to stir everything in together. And in the meanwhile, because it's Friday, I always love to talk about what your plans are. What do you have planned for this weekend? We're probably going to stay put this weekend, unfortunately. Unfortunately for me, I know a lot of people like the snow, but I'm not one for loving the snow so much, unless we're going to be doing activities in the snow, but we are not prepared for that yet. It is still early for us. It's only October 27th, and normally we don't get our snowshoes out or our ski or snowboarding equipment till at least November. So we're not prepared for the elements this weekend, but hopefully that will happen soon and we'll get prepared. But this whole snowfall this week was unexpected on my behalf. I didn't know that we were expecting this much snow. And so we've got centimeters have been piling up throughout the week. And sometimes it's unusual for this time of year and sometimes it's not. I think last year we had a dumping but it went away right away. And now I can see that it's been here all week. So hopefully, cross fingers, it'll be melting soon and we can get back to some of the fall weather that I was just starting to enjoy. It feels like here in Alberta and sometimes in Ontario too, where I'm from. We're formerly from Ontario. We moved here about 3 years ago with our family for a better lifestyle. But I noticed that, we're not seeing much of a fall anymore. We're pretty much going from summer to winter, it feels like. There hasn't really been that much time for capris. And if you're not sure what capris are, they're just like a shorter pant. So if I don't know why we even have that in our wardrobe anymore, because it seems like we go from shorts to pants right away. Okay, so I've got the dry ingredients stirred. Now the wet ingredients, the first thing is the vanilla. And I usually don't like to pre-measure the vanilla just because I'm afraid that it's going to spill. So I always have that ready. So I'm just going to go ahead and put 1 teaspoon, I believe it is. Oh, 2 teaspoons. For this recipe, they want 2. So 1, and I've done this recipe many, many years. I don't know it off by heart. I'm not one of those, unless I have a staple recipe that I use all the time. This one I have to actually go by the instructions, the directions. So, okay, so that's 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and then 1 cup of oil. So I pre-measured the oil. Whatever oil you have on hand is fine. And this one calls for 4 eggs. So I'm gonna just start cracking the eggs in here. Yeah, so I'm just wondering what, you know, what things you have going on for you. Like, is it warm where you are? Or are you experiencing the winter weather here where you are as well? You know, is this something that's typical for you? Yeah, it's always interesting to know, you know, who's chiming in. And, you know, even if you're watching this on the replay, I'd love to know also where you're tuning in from and give you a shout out and make a connection. And you know what? Also, I would love if you would give a suggestion. What is it, you know, what is something that you want to see me prepare in here as well? Okay, and then I've got to get 1/2 cup of water. So I didn't, it's cold water. So give me 1 second. I just have to get some cold water. I think there's a reason for that. It has to do with the binding. Thank you so much for stopping by. I know I've got some visitors here. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, I don't have the name of the person, but I do appreciate you stopping by. I love when my followers join me, especially live. So I'm just going to get 1/2 cup of water, 1/2 cup of cold water. So I've just done that. That's the handy part about having your sink right next to you. So, okay, I've got the water. And then also I'm going to add my 1/2 cup of nuts. Now, you can use any type of nuts. I love pecans. That's my favorite. But I've also mixed it with some almonds just for something different. So I'm just going to go ahead and give that a stir. And, you know, the one thing that I forgot to do, and normally we do, is to preheat the oven. So I'm just going to turn that on to 350. Okay, so I've got that going. And I'm just going to give this a stir here. I'm going to have to break up the yolks a little bit. They're still staying solid. So I'll show you what this looks like afterwards. But yeah, it's so easy. Like that's it. That's all the ingredients. So what have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Only 9 ingredients. And it's in one bowl. So that makes it a lot easier too. And it's all things that you probably have at home. So flour, sugar, salt, vanilla, water, of course, nuts, eggs, and oil. So not too bad. And I will show you the consistency of what it's going to look like. It's a bit thin, but I know that it's going to start to thicken a little bit. So just so you know what it's going to look like in the end. Okay, so here is what it's looking like here. Nice and thick. And again, you don't have to put the nuts in if you're not a nut fan. You don't have to worry about that. So, all right. And so while that is sitting, I'm just going to go grab my my baking pan. And this one actually it's like a double batch, so 9 by 13 pan. So I'm just going to grab that. Okay, and I'm going to spray it so that it doesn't, so the brownies don't stick. So, and then the fun part is the decorating. I don't know about you, but I love the decorating part. So it's most gratifying. And what they're going to look like is little ghosts when they're done. So, you know, of course, I'm not going to be able to do that all while I'm online with you right now. We have to wait for the brownies to bake. They're going to take about 30 minutes to bake in the oven. But what I'll do is I'll come back and I'll show you the finished product, and then you can see how to decorate the brownies yourself. So I've just got my baking pan, 9 by 13. I'm just going to dump everything in there, and then we're gonna, you know, stick it in the oven when the oven is preheated. So that's it. Yeah, nice and quick, nice fast recipe. I like to do some fast ones because I know that your time is limited, and I know I don't want to take away from your time, and I do appreciate that you are taking out your time to stop by and say hello. So thank you again for joining me. As I said, I will actually leave the recipe in the comments for you as well once I get that prepared, and you can have a look at that. Come back to my page, have a look, and get that recipe so you can put it in your recipe binder as well. And I'd love to hear how it turns out for you. And you know, maybe you want to decorate it a little differently. Maybe you want pumpkins instead of ghosts, or maybe you want some other kind of a decorative you know, topper. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for stopping by. I do appreciate that you you took the time to say hello, and I can't wait to come back on here to show you the finished product, and also to invite you for next week. So again, if you have suggestions on what you want to see me prepare, I would love to hear what they are. And, you know, whether it's a muffin, a cake, a brownie, a cookie, you know, whatever it is that you think. I love baking, so something along that lines would be amazing. All right, well, thank you so much. I hope you have a great weekend. And again, I can't wait to come back on here and share with you another recipe from Tanya's Kitchen. All right, take care and bye for now.